All right, folks, welcome back to Kings of Opinion, episode 76. I'm here with just the Wanderer for now. Don't know where the hell Ernie is or if he's lost or hiding, sleeping in a ditch somewhere. But
hope he's okay.
Yeah, we hope you're okay, Big Ern, and hopefully you show up at some point in the next hour. So I don't know where to begin this week's show.
Well,
I don't know what angers me more. So I'm going to leave it up to you.
You know what? Just whatever, doing both and whatever feels natural.
Well, yeah, we're definitely going to do both. I just don't know which one I'm more angry at and I want to talk about.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, one of them probably just happened today.
So I guess we'll go with football first. So, breaking news earlier in the day, it was like around 10 o'clock this morning, Robert Saleh was fired as the New York Jets head coach, which, was it surprising it happened in the middle of the season? Yes. Was it necessary? Who knows? I guess we'll see next week when the Jets play the Bills on Monday night. But, after losing Denver the way they did, even with the weather, and then playing Minnesota in London, I woke my ass up at 10 in the morning to watch that game. And I was pissed. So I can only imagine how some of the other people were, super, super diehard fans and, coaches and players and everything like that. It just wasn't a good game. And at the end of all of it, they still had enough to almost win the game.
Yeah, they were in it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, and especially being down 17-0 at the half pretty much, right? And everything that was going wrong, the tons of penalties, the two picks, one of which was a return for a touchdown. The Jets D, I guess, is the most stable force because, they only gave up, 13 or so points or something like that, or whatever it was. And I think they only gave up 3 in the second half, right? Or no, what did they wind up winning? 23-17 or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah, so 6 points and 2 field goals, I think, in the second half. But either which way, the defense once again kept them in the game. And for whatever reason, the offense can't click with just all these good players. Like Breece Hall looked like crap. Allen wasn't much better.
Yeah, Breece Hall hasn't been, rushing for a lot of yards.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be like a bell cow running back. And, I'm sure some of it has to do with the offensive line. I'm not watching the offensive line all the time, but you could just see in that game that Rodgers was getting hit left and right. I think he's got a sprained ankle. He's going to be good to go for Monday, but he's getting beat up. So, I mean, the offensive line can't be doing that great. But I can't imagine after signing a couple of guys to that line how we're worse off at an offensive line than we were last year.
Yeah.
And we have a better quarterback. At times, Aaron Rodgers makes some, I guess, questionable throws and they get picked off, I guess. You know what I mean? The one at the end of the game was a bad one because he threw a back shoulder, but he threw it to the cornerback, not to the wide receiver. And Mike Williams wasn't even looking for the ball. He wasn't even turned around. So it was all the cornerback. But I don't know, man. It was not a great game, to say the least. So I see the firing. I guess, Woody Johnson got tired of it, even though he did say that he was talking to Aaron Rodgers Monday night. I mean, they had to discuss this. So for him
it came up.
Yeah, but if I was Woody Johnson, I wouldn't have said I talked to Rodgers at all. Don't put him in that spot as being the bad guy if he was the bad guy. But because we haven't heard from Rodgers yet, so listen, do I think he was saying some negative things? I'm sure he was. He's probably frustrated like everybody else is. But he could have been saying some good things too. But now the way you made it look in the media is I talked to Rodgers, but not about my decision on Coach Saleh. You're lying.
Right.
We know you discussed it. I'd rather you not say that you talked to him, or if you did say you talked to him, tell us everything you said at this point. Because now it's also going to be speculated that Rodgers threw him under the bus and, Rodgers is a bad guy. Meanwhile, you had guys go from one team to another, just for an example, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Russell Wilson, and you don't ever hear those guys say anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, it's kind of weird. This whole situation, and the interim head coach is the defensive coordinator, which I guess is cool, but it's not the defense that's the problem. We always have defensive coaches. Who cares? Let's get someone, unless they bring somebody in they need to change the offense, or they need to get on the same page offensively, because
Right.
this is going to be the same thing as last year with the defense is just on the field all the time. They're getting beat up, and then they start losing games because the defense is on the field the whole damn time.
And the offensive coordinator, he's Rodgers' guy, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess they just are going with who they think it might be the best coach to just navigate the rest of the season. And I guess the only knock on Hackett is he's just Aaron Rodgers' guy. So, like, he wasn't a good head coach, for Denver, was it? So why give him a chance? But yeah, I don't know. And Sam Darnold looked like old Sam Darnold in that game, too. So you could have easily won that game. It's just they didn't. Once again, they're the same old Jets. But, I almost guarantee that the Jets are going to beat the Bills on Monday night now, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, just for some weird reason. Like, I feel like this is, if just for a game, it's going to, like, spark the team up. And, like, I see them play a good game against the Bills and probably win that game. I wouldn't be surprised if they won that game. So, I mean, it's too early to start doing, who's going to win all next week with the picks and everything like that. But I just have a gut feeling the Jets are going to wind up winning next Monday. The rest of football. So Kansas City is 5-0.
Right.
So the Minnesota Vikings, we touched upon them already. How'd your Dallas Cowboys do? Did you catch any of that game?
I did not. It didn't start until late, I think, due to weather. I did see that they won. It looked like it was a close game from the score. Not a ton of offense, maybe, but I didn't see any of it.
Yeah, I mean, because it was so late, it started, I think, close to 10 o'clock. And I kept checking on the game, and by that time I was like, I'm done for the day. Yeah. I didn't get to watch it either. The only thing I will say is...
It didn't end until,
I think it was after midnight.
Yeah.
It was a little after midnight. And for people that stayed up and watched it, I guess good for you.
God bless them.
Yeah, I couldn't do it that time. I was at the beginning of the week with work. I was like, I'm not doing it. Plus, it's not even teams that I need to watch, so I didn't really watch it. But apparently there was a tight game until the end, and Dak Prescott took I don't know if he got lucky or whatnot, but they wound up scoring at the end of the game to beat Pittsburgh. And I'm pretty sure that was one of my picks last week, so pretty much lost that one.
Oof.
Yeah, so, good for the Dallas Cowboys. Bad luck for good old Pugs over here. What are you going to do? But yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, the game of the weekend was the Ravens at Bengals. Oof.
Back and forth, yeah.
Did you see that? Any of that?
I did see a little bit. I was at a birthday party and they had Red Zone, so I got to see some of the, good stuff happening around, between 3 and 4.
Yeah, so no defense whatsoever in that game, which was great. I kind of looked at that game from the beginning of the week as it was going to be a high-scoring affair, and just the last team that got the ball was going to win, and that's pretty much exactly what happened. It even went into overtime. And, Burrows had probably one of his, maybe not one, I said one of his better games of his career. Threw for 5 touchdowns, gave me 54 fantasy points.
Wow.
But I still lost because the guy I went against was that much better. Because he also had Lamar Jackson that I think he scored 46 or 49 points himself because he had 4 touchdowns plus all his rushing yards and passing yards. It was a crazy, awesome offensive game. I watched the whole game. A lot of fun to see. Like I said, 0 defense. So it was just like throw a ball here, throw the ball there, run it over here, run it over there. It was going crazy. But, very good game on that end. The Giants looked good. They went into...
Yeah, that was a big surprise, right?
Yeah. Did you see any of that? Or was there more...
No neighbors either.
Yeah.
I didn't really see a lot of it, but I think when I got home, I just flipped it on and I saw the score, and it was like 29-20 or something like that, and I said, wow, that's a big win for them.
Yeah.
Going to Seattle.
That's a tough place to play. I don't think there's a place that's louder than that place. So, kind of crazy. But good for them. I mean...
And now they play the Bengals.
Yeah, and I'm with you on these picks. We share some of the same ones. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But the Giants are 2-3, Jets are 2-3. One team looks like they're going up. The other one's just stagnant and staying, crappy like they always are, which is shocking to me, I guess. But nothing with the Jets ever really surprises me. So we'll just roll with it and see how the season goes. There's still plenty of season left, and if they could get a big win against the Bills, they'll be tied for the division, which will be nice. The Bills also just came off of a tough loss to Houston.
Yeah, that was another good game.
Yeah, a lot more defense savvy, I guess you could say. It wasn't really high scoring. But yeah, it's funny with the Bills. After week 3, you're like, oh, they could go to the Super Bowl. They're unstoppable. And then they played the Ravens, looked like crap, and then played Houston. And didn't look like crap, but just couldn't keep the offense going at times. Right. And it hurt them. So, are they going to... do you happen to know if, like this week, the Jets play... Are they in Buffalo?
I think it's in New York. In New Jersey, I think.
Oh, yeah? I gotta see. But either which way, it's going to be a tough game for both teams. They always play each other hard, it seems like. Yeah. The Jets and the Bills.
Matchup.
So, I hope it's actually at home.
It's at Jets, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's kind of what they need. They need another home game after these last 2 losses. So, hopefully they could get one. I have a good feeling about it, though, for some weird reason. But yeah, football was pretty cool this weekend. Nothing too crazy happened. If you're in a survival pool, I'm sure a lot of people got knocked out one way or another with some of these games.
The Niners lost again, right?
Yeah. What's going on with them, actually?
I don't know. I guess they're not firing on all cylinders. They don't have McCaffrey. I guess he's a big part of their offense.
Yeah, but they have so many weapons. Like, they used to use Debo, and they still have that guy Mason. The running back was pretty good the first couple weeks at the very least. But yeah, I don't understand what their deal is. Maybe it's their defense that's slacking recently. I don't really know, but hard to say. You also had the Packers beat the Rams, which I think we all picked that to happen. Yeah, pretty much. Did you see any of the Saints Chiefs game last night?
Just a few plays that looked like the Chiefs were, firing on all cylinders. I saw Kareem Hunt had a couple of nice runs, and they seem to be, passing the ball all over. And I did see 1 or 2 drive from the Saints, and they didn't have a lot going.
No, Derek Carr got hurt, and he looks like he's going to be missing multiple weeks with an injury. I forgot what he injured. I don't want to say if it was an oblique or something in the ribs, but he's going to be out a couple weeks. Yeah, this is the first game for me that I watched some of this game, and it looked like the vintage Chiefs. Up until this game, the Chiefs just looked like one way or another they were going to win, but either they were getting lucky because of calls or just right place, right time. But this one, it just looked like they were on cruise control. Juju Schuster-Smith all of a sudden is back in the fold. He had 130 yards on 8 catches, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you mentioned Kareem Hunt had a great game. Even Xavier Worthy had a late touchdown, which was good. But they need to involve Worthy more. Not just because he's on my fantasy team and he's one of my flex players, but he's so damn fast.
Yeah, he's a speedster.
Yeah, he's got to look for him more. Mahomes missed him. He was almost someone in the middle of the field, wide open. And I think he went underneath to Juju on that play, where if he would have went to him, it was probably a 60-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Easy. But other than that, yeah, that's really all I got for football right now. I'm so consumed right now in these baseball playoffs. And I knew this was going to happen last week, and we started talking about it. As of right now, all the teams are 1-1 in divisions series for the first time ever.
Oh, the Padres won second game?
Yes.
Okay.
And what I guess this doesn't surprise me, right?
I think Detroit won the game?
Yeah. Oh, we'll talk about that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh,
I know
yeah.
they lost the first one, but the second game they were down like 5-0
No,
or something.
no. That was the first game they were down 5-0. They lost that game
Right.
7-0. It was 0-0 into the ninth.
The second game?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So let's just. I guess we'll start with that first. So, yeah, it was yesterday.
Okay. First
Pitchers duel, first game. Pitchers battle, whatever. 0-0 to the ninth.
Wow.
They bring in Class A, the Guardians.
Yeah, they close it.
He gets two guys on. I want to say two singles. Nothing crazy. Then that guy. Oh man, it's gonna kill me. What is his name? Is there a Carpenter on their team?
Detroit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, whatever. The guy is facing Class A, and he's just throwing like everything he's got at him. Finally, like I don't even remember the count. I just remember watching it at work. Class A throws a fastball right down the middle of the plate, 100 miles an hour, and I guess he just knew it was coming, and he hit a bomb, and it was a home run, and they wound up winning the game 3-0. Because then the very next inning, it's like, you're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, did you say this is the first time ever it's all been 1-1?
Yeah, that's all I was reading.
Cool.
Yeah, it was Carpenter's dramatic home run stuns Class A in ninth. As Never Quit Tigers' first LDS tie. But yeah, so the first time ever it's been 1-1 in divisional series. I guess at every other point someone was at least 2-0,
Yeah.
So you know what? I'll be honest with you, I kind of figured as much with the way this season played out, and there's no like dominant team, no 100-win team, nothing like that. So, all these series are going to be tough series. So the better team better win. You know what I mean? If you have the better record, you have home field advantage, you better win. So now they all split. So now all the away teams now become home teams. So now the home teams that are away, right, the higher seeds, have to do the same thing the lower seeds did. They just got to split.
Right.
So if you go into it now, we got the Mets game on right now. So the Mets are winning 2-0 in the top of the sixth against the Phillies. You want to win this third game as the away team, because then even if you lose tomorrow, at least you're going back home.
Right.
Otherwise, you put more pressure on yourself. So you got today, it's the NLDS. So you got the Phillies and the Mets, and then you got the Dodgers and Padres in San Diego. And then tomorrow, you have Kansas City against the Yankees, and then Detroit versus the Guardians. Now, the reason why I want to talk about these things first is because I am so angry with the New York Yankees right now.
Yeah, Judge hasn't been showing up as seems to be the thing for him in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I don't know what to say. Like you could say we got lucky in game one.
It was close.
It was a close game, and it was a back and forth battle, which was nerve wracking. But it made it fun.
Like one team kept going ahead by a run.
Yep, and it's just team goes up by a run, the other team ties it. Then that team goes ahead, the other team ties it. Whatever. The Yankees sneaked away with a victory that day. They didn't hit much. They didn't hit with runners really that well in scoring position, except for a few key hits, which was good. And you saw it from, one rookie in particular, Arson Wells, his first playoff series, and he had a big-time hit. And Verdugo, crazy enough, has had a good series so far in these first two games. He's got a few hits, which is good. Wow, nice little double play from Anaya right there. Nice little soft line drive and double him up at second base. But yeah, you got away with the first one. Then comes game two. I'm like, okay, the Yankees should just demolish Kansas City. Even though Reagans was on the mound, for whatever reason, I didn't think he was going to have like a dominant start, and he didn't. The Yankees once again had him on the ropes in the first inning, just like they did on Saturday against, I forget who the pitcher was that the Yankees were facing on Saturday. But both first innings, Yankees got two guys on with no outs, and they didn't score a single run. Super annoying to me.
You believe in runners stranded?
Yeah, and one of those culprits was Aaron Judge, and then he did it again yesterday. Like, all those times where he hit these solo home runs in the first inning, God forbid we get back-to-back games where both guys get on. Like, it's super important at this point, now that you're the number 3 hitter, you can literally control the rest of that inning. Because even if he walks, now you got bases loaded, no out. And you got Austin Wells, who, as a cleanup hitter, has been hitting well there. So it could be a huge inning for the Yankees. Almost what anything positive Aaron Judge does. Whether he gets a single, walks, gets a home run, it could be a huge inning. And he both times strikes out. It's unbelievable. And he did it a few other times. He did walk and get a hit yesterday, but it really didn't help, right? So, whatever. Then you had just Carlos Rodon innings 1 and 2, and then Carlos Rodon inning 3 and 4. 1 and 2, he's lights out. They couldn't hit him. 3 and 4, totally different story. 4 runs on like 6 or 7 hits, whatever it was. And some of it was like, not errors, so to speak, but just mental lapses in fielding. You know, and it was basically Jazz Chisholm, but he's not used to being a third baseman. So it wasn't even like he made an error, threw the ball away, run scored. It was just he didn't like cut the ball off, and instead of going to second and maybe getting that out, or a guy not advancing to second, it kind of like gave them an extra run or two, because then guys came up and got clutch hits like Tony Pham on like a 1-2 count, and it just padded the league. Because if you cut that to maybe 3 runs as opposed to 4, maybe the rest of that game goes differently. Because Jazz did hit a home run in the bottom of the 9th, which could have made it 3-2, or maybe it would have been 2-2. You never really know. Right. But yeah, very frustrating. It looked like the same old Yankees. Like, they're just not hitting. Like, even in the playoffs, like 4-1 shouldn't be that insurmountable to me if you're the Yankees. And you're playing at home. It's not like you're playing in like a pitcher's ballpark, right? Right. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't forget. I totally jumped into this without doing our picks. So we'll just do them at the end. Just remind me. Okay. But I just want to get into the what do you want to call it, the baby brother, or just the other New York team, the Mets. They've been surprising all year, right? So why stop now? Right. I kind of even rooting for them a little bit. Like, I normally never did that in the past. I just pay attention from afar and like don't really bother like acknowledging it until I have to. Like in 2000. Invested, yeah, like, you know, in 2000 when we were playing them in the World Series, then I'll pay attention. But it's hard not to, with these group of guys, not to pay attention to see what they're doing. Right. Right? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just they're not supposed to be here. Their pitching staff isn't supposed to be this good, but they are. Like, they're playing the Phillies. I know it's a rival of theirs, but like, they're going toe-to-toe with them. And like right now, they're in the bottom of the 6th and they're winning 2-0. Right, yeah. Like the first game, you know, it was not a lot of scoring for most of it. But I think it was like they were down 1-0, I think. Going into the 7th or the 8th. And I said, you know, if they could steal this game somehow, you know, even with Nola not Nola, Wheeler pitching lights out, like, you know, that would be huge for just, you know, the momentum. And they I think they put up, what was it, like a 5-run 8th or something like that. And, you know, that was a huge win. Yeah, it's amazing to me, like, as soon as Wheeler went out of the game, they turned it up. Like, they had 1 hit in 7 innings off him. 1. Right. And they might have had a base runner from a walk or something like that. Right. But then once he goes out, and they literally destroyed the Phillies bullpen. I mean, obviously, too, you know, should probably mention the Pete Alonso heroics to even make it to this round. What was it? Was it the 9th inning? Yeah, I think it was the 9th inning. Yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah. Yeah, that 3-run home run was insane. Yeah. Everyone was going nuts. That was on Thursday. Yeah, that was when that big, the Atlanta-Tampa Bay game was being played, too. That was a crazy football game as well. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. So, what was I going to say? And then Sunday,
It was a close game. Philly was up. I think it was 4-2, and then Vientos again. They tied the game up in the ninth inning. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get another chance as the Phillies were able to put a few guys on and get some hits. But just to even tie it, just to come back again late in the game is it's crazy for their ability to do that.
I'll be honest with you, like you're spot on with that, because for them to keep fighting back, and let's not forget, they've done that for like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, literally.
And especially at the end of the games. It's not like they're doing it in the fourth or fifth. They're doing it literally in like the seventh, eighth, and ninth.
Yeah.
And you're right, for them to just come back and tie at 6-6, it shows a lot of heart and grit. The only reason why they lost that game, in all honesty, is because it wasn't at Citi Field. Like, if they had the home field advantage and they tied it like at the bottom half of the eighth,
right.
They would have won that in the ninth. You know what I mean? It's just, it's how it works. You know what I mean? Like, the Phillies had the better record. They were home first. But yeah, spot on. And the Mets, still exciting now. Citi Field's rocking. Trust me with that.
Oh, yeah.
You can't hear it, but we're watching it, and I could see it. People are cheering, standing up, going wild.
Feel
Yeah, like, they should have no problem. As long as their bullpen can hold it down for 9 outs.
Well, we'll see.
Knock on wood, right? But yeah, hopefully by next week we'll have some good news for our New York fans on both sides of the fence, NL and the AL. I'm actively rooting for both. I want to see it do well. I want something good to happen for New York. It's been a while for just New York sports in general.
Yeah.
And apparently, if you're Jazz Chisholm, he thinks they're going to go all the way. I don't know if you heard his comments last night. Okay. He's very confident, which is good. Let's just hope it doesn't bite him in the ass. Another knock on wood, because normally Yankees don't say things like they got lucky and stuff like that. So if by chance the Yankees don't make it past the Royals, he's gonna have a long winter. So good luck to both teams, and wish you well, and hopefully we have things to celebrate. I'm gonna say by the weekend. So should be a good week of baseball. I don't expect. I'll be honest with you, all these series might go 5.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah.
It's been a good round so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump right back into football real quick before we jump into our other stuff. So Ernie never made it here. We hope he's okay, like we said earlier. So we don't have our records this week, but we'll update him next week. Hopefully he'll have everything. So I guess I'll start. I started off with the Steelers giving 3 to the Raiders. I'm going to take the Steelers on that one. After their loss to Dallas, I think they're going to be pretty pissed. I know they're going to Vegas, but I think they're going to win that game by like around a touchdown, I would say, on the safe side. Speaking of which, Mets have first and second no outs, so looks like Nola's day might be done soon. I don't know if they're going to pitch him much longer than this, even though he's still only got 80 pitches, but this is a tough spot for him right now if he doesn't get a double play. My next is the Bengals, giving 3.5 to the Giants. I'll take the Bengals after that crazy loss to the Ravens. Joe Burrows looks like he turned the corner, so hopefully as long as, their D can match the Giants' D, they should win this game. Then you got the Chargers and the Broncos. Chargers giving 3 to the Broncos. I didn't like many of these games.
Yeah, not a lot to pick from, I think.
Yeah, so I just picked this one just because it was a field goal kind of spread. So I'm picking the Chargers at -3. It is a division game, so maybe it'll be like a one of those kind of games where the Chargers just take over and just beat up on the Broncos. The Broncos are due anyway because their defense is playing out of their mind. So we'll see how that goes. And then last, like I told you, I had a little bit of an idea that the Jets could win this Monday, so I'm picking the Jets. They're getting 2.5. So yeah, let's go Jets, baby. New head coach, same old Jets team. Let's see if they can get a win against the Bills. I mean, they won against the Bills last year with Zach Wilson, so
yeah, that's true.
You know,
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was week 1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of the same picks here. First up, I'm gonna go with Houston -7. I think they're a good team. Hopefully they can cover that number. I also like the Steelers, like you do. I think they bounce back this week over the Raiders. I also like the Bengals. I think their offense should have no problem outscoring the Giants. We'll see if I'm right or wrong about that. And then I'm also going to take the Cowboys getting 3.5 versus Detroit. Detroit's a good team, but hopefully the Cowboys can hang around.
Sweet. Now all we gotta do is send this to Ernie. Hopefully you can take care of that, and we can see what our last 2 weeks have been with our picks. So I finished the Lord of the Rings. Did we talk about it last week?
I know you were finishing it, but
So I finally finished the last episode. Great last episode, by the way. Little bit of a cliffhanger, but you knew it was coming, so it wasn't like, oh my god, no. And we already know that they have season 3 coming out. If you're sort of into that stuff, you could just wait till season 3, because then by the time you're done with 1 and 2, boom, you're done. I don't know if it'll go past 3 seasons. That was really good. I started Snowpiercer. I'm almost done with that as well. I should be done with that by the end of this week. Pretty good. I'd like to see how it ends, just because I've invested a movie and I think 4 seasons of this show. It's been a little bit of ride on the train. It's almost like riding the train into New York City. But yeah, what else do we got? Oh, the documentary about Vince McMahon.
Oh, that came out?
It came out.
When did that come out?
I think
Friday,
last week or something like that.
Forgot about that.
But I saw it and I watched it. I'm almost done with that. It's really good.
Yeah, it's gotta be good.
Yeah, but if you're expecting it to be about what's recently happened to him in the papers,
no, I don't think so.
it's not that.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear, like this was filmed way before that. I heard that they might have did some editing at the end and did some extra interviews about what's going on with him in the news with that that you want to call her a coworker, or was she like a lawyer at WWE? But all this sexual kind of stuff that he's been doing out there, and all this under the table settlements and all that stuff. I don't think you'll see much of that on there. It's just really about Vince and how he brought up the WWF/WWE. If you are a wrestling fan, definitely check it out. It's quick 50-minute episodes. I think there's 6 of them.
Oh, it's a series. Okay.
Yeah, it's a quick little series. I got 2 more left. I watched 4 in the last couple of days.
Gotcha.
Very, very good. So at least so far. I got 2 more left. I'll talk about that more, I guess, next week with the Snowpiercer once I wrapped it all up this week.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's all I got for this week.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I've been watching.
Is Bad Monkey almost done?
It's gotta be, but there's definitely at least an episode left. So yeah, I'm watching that. I'm not sure if I really watched anything else last week besides I watched the new Salem's Lot. It's on.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
Is it good?
Yeah, I mean it's an older movie, but I guess like a remake or whatever.
Okay. No, yeah, there's a Salem's Lot from like the 60s.
Yeah,
like they keep redoing it every it seems like decade or 2. But it's made this year.
Yeah, it just came out on Max. On Friday.
Was it good?
Yeah, I liked it. It's the story's pretty straightforward, so it's
scary.
They didn't really change a lot. Yeah, it's like vampire stuff. So yeah, I thought it was it was good. Yeah, I liked it.
Cool, awesome. Anything else?
No, I don't think I watched anything else really.
All right,
to be honest.
Fair enough. Any of your music selections for this week?
3 picks for this week. We have first up. We have The Smile with Cutouts. It's a new album. Next up, we have Rome Streets and Derringer with Hatton Garden Hold Up. And third up, Aphex Twin with Selected Ambient Works Volume 2 Expanded Edition. Those are the 3 picks for this week.
All right, sweet. So before we go, the last recap you guys are gonna get if you are not watching the game. It's bottom of the sixth. Bases loaded for the New York Mets, and Nola's out of the game, and you got Iglesias up right now. I wish the Mets a lot of luck. Up, looks up. Oof! They just got the runner out at home with a bobble from the second baseman on the Phillies. The Mets almost got lucky there, but either which way. We wish the Mets luck. We wish the Yankees a lot more luck because it looks like they're going to need it because they don't score runs like the Mets do. And hopefully we'll be talking next week about how the Mets and the Yankees advance to the league championships. That should be exciting if it happens. Everyone else enjoy this week's worth of football and the MLB playoffs. We'll see you guys next week. Enjoy.
Till next time.
That's right. Later, guys.